So I've had a few people ask why the roll cage crossbar appears to be on backwards. And the only reason we did that on this car is because it has such a long seating compartment with these huge wide doors that you can still have your seat where you want it and reclined with the bar facing that way. And if you face the bar the other way, you basically can't use the back seat. And this allows you to at least put small people in the back seat and kids, you know, when you're driving around sensibly and stuff. And actually he's going to put harness seat belts in the back as well, so it just makes the car more usable during the roll cage like that. And then he's doing his final finessing now on the bodywork. And when he's got this done, he will do his high build primers. You do the high build primers next, do you, Denny?
Yes, sir.
And then do you do multiple ones on top of each other and then block sand it?
Yeah, we're gonna do 2 medium wet coats of P36 PPG, $500 a gallon primer.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
Yeah, $500 a gallon. This is 5 to 1, so buyer beware. Make sure you read make sure you get online and get the mixing instructions.
Yeah, is there a resting time for that before you use it on that one?
Yeah, it has a flash time of 10 to 15 minutes a day.
Right, but you know how on some of them you mix them and you actually can't use them straight away. You have to let them sit.
Right. PPG epoxy primers, 25-minute catalyst.
Right, before you
put it in your gun.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you read your instructions out there, because a lot of these different products have you know, different instructions, and you can't spray them straight away.
Yeah, and they're known as TDS bulletins.
Yeah.
Technical data sheets.
But yeah, I don't know if you have to go with really expensive high build primers, but I think the difference is that they shrink less and things like that. And so sometimes if you're putting a lot of money into a car, it's
Especially
kind
in
of
Florida.
Yeah, that heat can really you know, eat up the paint quickly. So there's, you know, a lot of factors. Is it a car you're going to be using? Is it going to be garage kept? But yeah, if you can, sometimes make spending the money on the more expensive products, you know, can be beneficial. Not to say that if you don't use expensive products, your cars won't last for decades looked after, but sometimes just err on the side of caution. Anyway, as you can see, the detail on this, you know, which I would never do on my cars. Just you know, I've just never gone that far with my cars. But you know, Denny's making the firewall as nice as the rest of the car, and it does look different. My '57 Chevy, someone did a pretty nice job of the firewall before I got it. Not going to be quite as nice as this. You can see where they put Denny put a big transmission tunnel in there. I can't remember what transmission that's going in there. Is it a 6L80 or something?
It's a
8L80.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's going to take the power. I think you can make all these transmissions pretty strong. But anyway, that's initially what he's going with. And he won't be drag racing this car, which is probably what puts the most strain on the drivetrain, because you're spinning those slicks up on a prepped surface and stopping. The tires get stuck to the track and you take off, and you know, you don't really get that type of traction on the street, and therefore you probably aren't going to break transmissions like you would on the racetrack. Anyway, just a little update this morning, see how it's coming along. And I'm guessing Denny will have this in primer in a few days. So we'll get back to you when that starts. Hey, the car's nearly ready for the high build primer. So this will have to be scuffed down, and probably a few more tiny imperfections to deal with, and then on goes the high build primer. But you can definitely see how nice this is going to be. Yeah, I used to take videos of, you know, me restoring my cars, and just so I could go back and I'd remember the kind of things I did, the procedures, the sequences in which I do things, because I would you know, only do a car like once every couple of years, and unless you're doing it all the time, you kind of you know, lose the continuity of the best way to do it. Plus the products change quite frequently, and you know, you have a lot more options in different products that come out. So you know, that's really why I used to make quite a lot of these videos, is just so me and my kids would kind of have something to look back on, and it was jog our memories on you know, how we did it. And then, you know, obviously, you know, most of the cars we kept for years and years and years, so we'd see how the quality of the job we did stood up, and, you know, did OSFO work really well from going inside the seams, you know, what kind of underseals held up well, seam sealing and stuff. So basically the longevity of the builds really spoke for themselves. So procedures that we did, which seemed to hold up really well on our daily drivers in the sun and the rain, would tell us, you know, if what we were doing was a good way to do it. But you know, this car's definitely taking it up a notch, and you know, listening and talking to Denny, I mean, he really does know a lot of the tricks to do a job for longevity, including going inside seams you can't get access to by drilling a hole, and then you put a plastic tube inside there with a 360-degree nozzle, and you spray the inside with a wax type product to prevent corrosion from the inside. So there's definitely a lot you can do in restoring the car correctly. Anyway, this is coming along really nicely, and it's basically ready for high build primer. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do on top of that. Probably a sealer coat, and maybe the base primer before the color, and etc. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the videos. Maximilian's prepping another model car to paint, because this gives him a really good idea of what the eventual color he wants for the main car, and he really likes the lime green pearl, but you know, it's a little bit risky, because if it's not right, it doesn't look very good. But if you can get it right, it looks amazing. And he's not really happy how this one came out, so
I'll make this one a little nicer, got detailed a little bit better, took all the trim out of it.
yeah, so he's actually doing this one. He's probably going to actually prime this one the color that the other car is going to be primed, and probably put the green on and a little bit more clear on this one, and before he makes a final decision whether he's going to go with this color. But you know, I'm sure a lot of people out there watching this are going to think, man, green, you know, I don't know about that. But and we kind of agree with you, but if it's done right, you just can't beat it. I did a 72 Cougar, which I had all jacked up with a big engine and stuff, sublime green, didn't have any metallic or pearl in it, and man, people love that car. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. So cardboard car. See how it comes out. Actually looks pretty good in black.
Everything looks good in black.
Yeah, it does. You don't want a black car before though. Been there, done that. My Hummer's black. Now that sucker gets off. And it always looks dirty. But yeah, hard to beat up that car. So Maximilian has sanded down this car, scuffed it up, and painted it primer. There's the front area. Alright, so he's scuffing up a couple of panels, metal panels, and spraying them in primer. And it actually makes the end result colour of the car different depending on what colour primers you spray the paint over. So it appears that black seems to be going to be the one for the lime green. So anyway, this gives them
Seems like most colors I picked out, they said over black. We actually did all these over graded primer when we were testing some samples, but I'm going to do some over black. I feel like we're going to get a deeper finish to the final product, and that's what we're going for.
Yeah, also some of these colours like the oranges, reds and greens, they're quite translucent. So they take a lot of coats to cover it sometimes. So if you pick the right primer, you get better coverage. So it can be quite important, especially with how expensive a lot of these paints are.
Yeah, the primer, we actually bought a really good primer for our final product. It's Deltron K36, and you can actually use that as a sealer. But I think what we're going to end up doing is, once we've done our final prime with that, we're going to get a black sealer and go over that. That way we have a nice base to go over. But we'll see how this green sprays over that in the final product. And that'll be our design package.
Right, we're still not sure what product we're going to use for paint. We've used quite a few different products in the past. We like PPG.
I think what I'll do is, if we decide we like this color from Camco, it's a Subline Green Pearl. We'll probably stick with a very similar color, but have a PPG match it and get as close as we can to it.
Yeah, what he said. So we're playing with paint scheme ideas on this, and we're thinking if we go green, he was going to do the rear panel where the lights are black, and then he wanted to do the bumpers the same colour as the car. Well, now he's thinking maybe do the back panel black with the lights in it there, and do the where that moulding edge is, where he's taping, do the top part of the bumper black, and then everything else green. But I'm thinking that maybe if we're doing the back panel, I'm thinking maybe do the back panel with the lights the same colour as the car, green, and then do the bumper black, and that'll make it look wider, because when you stripe something in the middle you generally get a wider look. But I don't know, that could be quite unique looking doing it that way, but it might make the bumper look, I don't know, I think it might done so much time on the bumper making it flush fit and look really nice that it might almost take away from the bumper. You look at the car and you probably almost not see the bumper.
Hey Maximus!
Hey Maximus!